What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Untouchable City Prepper. And I'm not gonna make this video long. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep my videos short. But President Barack Obama is in a video scolding black men because they don't support Kamala Harris. And y'all know I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. Okay? But I think that what Obama had was that charismatic attitude, like, hey, get behind me, we gonna do this. He brought more of a positive type attitude to the Oval Office. We could relate to him. So I see why the Democrats asked him to step in and help Kamala Harris out. This is the issue with middle-class black men. We've experienced the pandemic and we survived it. Okay? Not just health-wise, but financially. So we understand that managing money is a little bit more important. We understand that our family is more important. We understand that security of our household is more important. We understand that things have changed, okay? And I think, and I can't speak for all black men, but men that are in business for themselves and who are doing, let's say, fairly well, which I would put into the tax bracket of $62,000 to $150,000, roughly, give or take, somewhere in between there, we're doing fairly well, you know, or running their own business. Our financial aspirations have changed. Most single, and I'm not saying all, but most single women who don't have a male in the household really don't have direction because they're trying to live day to day. Black men that are leaders and providers of their household, they want more of a stable solution to what's going on. I'm not talking about the baby daddy who only pop up around birthdays and Christmas. A real male leader in his household has number one, has a plan, has priorities set, and have boundaries on what's going on, you know, and a lot of feedback comes from, you know, what's going on financially within the household. I know my wife knows I'm good with money. She's not good with money. And most black men who are doing fairly well, we want to get to the bag. And that's just it. We want to get to the bag. And we feel like Trump is going to give us the best chance to make more money. It's strictly business with me. It's no emotion or none of that. And I often said that I think that women can and are great leaders. I don't feel any kind of way about women being leaders. I feel like they could be great leaders. I feel like there are great leaders. But I also feel like Donald Trump is just a better candidate. I believe black men can relate to them more. A lot of black men have been involved with the law who can relate to being targeted. We've started life over. We've made mistakes. We acknowledge mistakes. We paid our debt to society, like me. I've made mistakes. I'm far from perfect. I'm not going to get too personal, but I have made mistakes. And there are problems with the criminal justice system. Okay? And a lot of black men, especially coming from California, tell you that Kamala Harris ain't it. And beyond, and I have yet to hear Kamala Harris say anything that I can relate to as a black man. Okay? As a business owner, as a black man leading my family, I have yet to hear anything relatively close to something that I can compare and touch on my life. I also voted for Joe Biden. Okay? And I feel some kind of way that they pushed Joe Biden out of the way and they put her in the situation. Okay? Now keep in mind, I was going to vote for Trump anyway. But just to see how ruthless the Democrats are, like they totally pushed Joe Biden out, that sits in my soul. Like, yo, like, I mean, I'm only 40 years old, but I've never known that to be done. So I think Obama is trying to still use his way of consoling or compromising or trying to bring reality to black men for Kamala. It just can't work because we think differently now. We're on a different level. You know, a lot of business black men aren't trying to make it. We're trying to get to the next level, you know, and we don't feel confident in Kamala. I think she speaks very well, as she should as a prosecutor. But quite honestly, as a black male leader in my family, I don't care about abortion. And I have this conversation with my daughter. Like, hey, you have to be responsible for you. You know, beyond rape, incest, and you know, something during birth, you have to be responsible. You know, you have to make sure you're on birth control. You have to make sure that whoever you're laying down with, like I have to tell my sons, you're responsible. Women have a bigger responsibility on that end. I don't know how else to say it. Men do too, but women have a bigger responsibility who they lay down with because they get to choose who they be with. Men, we have to sell ourselves to women. Women ultimately choose us, and then we choose them to marry. So my conversation with my daughter is basically stay away from these no good niggas. And I'm just gonna say it like that. And saying the word nigga don't mean black or white. It just means these low down, dirty ass people. You gotta take responsibility for who you with. Now, if something was to happen, rape, you know, incest within the family, or just something happened at birth where we have to terminate the birth, that's different, you know. But like Trump said, he leaving that up to the states, you know. But I don't feel like most black men can relate to Obama right now. Back in the day when he was running, we could relate. We could relate, but I see no attachment to Kamala Harris in my life. That's the primary reason I will not be voting for her. I'm a black businessman that's middle class. I'm on my way to be making 100,000 within these next few years. I'm not making it now, but I will be within the next relatively 3 to 5 years, possibly more. Our border is out of control, which is, I feel like, is a safety issue for our country. I have an issue with us giving billions of dollars to Ukraine. I have an issue with my pro-2A rights. I have an issue with the direction of our country. Okay? Trump is not the best person to speak. I'm from Detroit. People from Detroit blew what he said out of context about the whole country would be like Detroit. Detroit is not a safe place to live. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's just not. It's a great place to invest in, and Detroit is back. We got the Lions, the Tigers, the Red Wings. But the inner city of Detroit is, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a wasteland. Beyond downtown Detroit, downtown is phenomenal. Like where I keep my boat at is coming back. People are constantly buying, but like the inner city of Detroit is a wasteland and it's a death trap. I'm not gonna lie to you. And that's just what it is. Most people are moving or investing back in the city. Now, at the point in time where I'm making this video, if you had to raise your family and you had a choice between living in the inner city of Detroit and the suburbs of Detroit, you would definitely choose the suburbs. It's just safer. I mean, it is what it is. And that's not me blasting my city, but Detroit is just not a safe place. The inner city of Detroit is just not a safe place. Now, that was kind of blown out of context because of what Trump said. You know, but you're not going to find too many people who want to live in the inner city of Detroit. I choose to stay in the inner city of Detroit. I bought my house cash. I'm staying. You know, I might eventually rent my house out. I might move out in the suburbs. We'll see. More than likely I will. But if I had a choice, I wouldn't live in the inner city of Detroit. Because your community is what, and the mind state of the people next to you is what makes your city. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm trying not to make this video too long. The biggest thing that I see between the hood and the suburbs, and I don't know how else to make this clear. When you're in the suburbs, you see a piece of paper on the ground. And keep in mind, I do landscaping as well. You are offended and you want to pick it up. When you in the inner city of Detroit, you see paper and it's like, oh, whatever. So the biggest things about the inner city and the burbs is just the mentality. And I know people in Detroit make money. Some of them make more money than the people in the suburbs. And I know this for a fact. Now, how they make their money, that's something totally different. But I do know they making money in the inner city of Detroit. That's for real. That's for real. That's not objective. And like I said, in some cases, they might be making more. But going back to Obama, I wouldn't call it disrespectful because he was trying to put himself in our shoes, but he can't. I will say that he said, you lucky Michelle isn't here. I don't know what's up with that. Like, his wife is going to scold us for not supporting this Indian woman. But black men, we have to understand that it's not that many of us that's not incarcerated or doing well. So the ones that are doing well, it is our responsibility to teach the younger generation that we have to think for ourselves. And as black men, I think we look to be we look for assurance and from our family and our friends. So we look to be accepted rather than making the best business move for our life and our family. You know, that's one of the main reasons why in my business, some of my team members say, well, I don't want a promotion. You know, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm stagnant. You know, they want to be liked. You know, and that's why you'll never be able to make 100,000. You'll never be able to make 200,000. It's because you're so focused on walking with everybody else than saying, hey, I need to think for myself. And I think that's what black men are doing right now. And that's pretty much it, man. This Untouchable City Prepper on a Sunday saying, I hope you're being blessed. I hope you're your family doing well. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're putting on the armor of Christ every day. I hope you guys are staying steadfast in what you do in the name of Jesus Christ. And that's my video for today, Untouchable City Prepper. I'm out.